Bond when he dumped his Rolex. 3 to 350, it's a lot of money, but I want it. So, wish myself some luck here, and I'll try and concentrate.
220, 240, 260, 280, 300 now. Any further bidding above £300?
Go on, give it to me, give it to me. Thank you very much. £300, marvellous.
The watch winds up with David for a sizable £360, including costs, and he's impressed with his purchase.
It's got the silvered face, it's got the date, which is absolutely brilliant. It's got the original winder, a non-original strap, and it's called the Seamaster because it's meant to go deep sea diving. It's all boys adventure territory. Now that is a real sports watch, but very tastefully done indeed. She's a beauty.
Well, it's not very often you see a grown man kissing his ticker. Anyway, we're halfway through the day's bidding, and what a start! With the trauma of David's missing MBE and some punchy purchases from Paul, our boys come together to compare notes.
Oh, look at you looking all studious.
I'm doing my homework.
Oh,
David,
how's it going?
I need all the help I can get, mate.
Me too, as well.
Lot number 27, my career. No bids.
No bids, yeah.
Have you got your eye on anything later?
A few things, but as ever, things come and they go. Yeah. They're too expensive. Well, I don't know what's wrong with my brain. It's just not firing, Paul.
Do you know what you need?
What?
A nice cup of tea.
And
a piece of Victoria's.
Seriously?
So while the boys take tea and cake, let's find out who's riding high on cloud 9 and who's left feeling under the weather. David and Paul each started the day with £1,000 of their own money. David has so far bought 2 items, spending £438. This leaves him with £562 still to spend. Paul got off to a flying start but has spent less, £98.40 on 2 lots, leaving him with £901.60 to play with. It's the eye of the storm and time for our 2 Titanic traders to blow back inside for yet more bidding and buying. Keen to take the lead, David is quick off the mark when a little bird catches his eye with an estimated value of £50 to £60.
Coming up is a quirky, novelty, interesting little thing. It's an inkwell, but it's more than an inkwell. It's in the shape of a songbird, which makes it really sweet and really interesting. Gotta be cheap. I'm gonna have a go.
32, 35, 38 I'm bid, 40 I'm bid, 42.
Everybody wants it.
I'm bid here.
Can't believe it.
45 I'm bid, 48, 50 will you, 50 I'm bid, at £50 I'm bid, back row.
50 quid for an odd little songbird, but he's really sweet. Give it to me. Marvellous, 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 marvellous.
David cages the bird for £60 including costs, but will he fly away with a soaring profit when he comes to sell it?
Don't you think he is gorgeous? No fantastic age, I can tell by its weight and the casting. It kind of feels still sharp, but well detailed in his feathers, probably French or German. No markings on him, absolutely delicious. Have absolutely no idea who I'm going to sell him to.
With the inkwell bird, David flies into the lead, and his newly found focus is beginning to give his rival cause for concern.
He seems very seasoned professional, doesn't he, David? Very serious, very good at his job. A bit worried, to be honest.
And worried he should be, because it's not long before David bags a vintage car headlamp. After fees, it cost him £120, but will it light the way in this competition?
This is the vintage Ford Model 666.
Mr. Harper's favourite figure.
Devilish number there. Made by E&J, Detroit, Michigan. I mean, come on, that is just screaming 1920s, 1930s. That would just make a great table piece.
The lamp puts David ahead, and he leaps further into the lead with a job lot of animal ornaments. A frog prince and a pair of decorative deer are added to his haul, costing David £78 after fees. So what attracted him to them?
Well, check this little lot out for a pair of major contrasts. I mean, we've got a really pretty Art Deco bronze deer there with her fawn, and then behind we've got the monstrosity of a frog, a prince frog or a king frog with his crown on there. But again, he kind of falls into the category of being so ugly, he's sort of attractive. And the Art Deco piece, doesn't everybody love Art Deco? Don't you love Art Deco? Please say you love Art Deco. I need to find someone who really, really loves Art Deco.
So, Paul's not the only one with anxieties, it seems. Mr. Morecambe is determined to claw the game back. He's focusing on a new target, a stereoscopic viewer with an estimated value of £50 to £60.
65. Set it. 70 there. 5. That's 75 right at the back of the room. 1376. 75 pounds. Your bid, sir.
There we go, I got one.
The stereoscopic viewer costs Paul £90 and the blue-eyed boy is chuffed.
Do you know what? I think these are some of the most underrated items that you can find on the market today. When you go back to the 19th century and early 20th century, they really were a novelty. It's the first time you could capture a real image. You know, lots of amateur photographers used to go out there and do exactly that. And they would have a special camera which would take a picture in stereo, the camera with two lenses. The lenses would be slightly different angles apart, takes the same view, but when you put them through a viewer, they seem to be in stereo or in 3 dimensions. It's one of those antiques, really, which is very usable. I haven't even shown you this marvellous rosewood 19th century viewer. And the idea is it would have you'd hold it up to the window, and then using this contraption here, it reflects a mirror to give the item more light. And I'm going to have great fun going through them and seeing these great images from a time gone by.
Snap Happy Paul is catching up, but David's fighting back. Having completely missed the MBE when it went under the hammer earlier on, the devilish one has brought about a breathtaking reversal of fortune.
Yes, this is the object that I missed out on in the sale room, and I haven't just borrowed it, I now own it. Because luckily for me, the guy that bought it, I collared him, I found out who it was, and I've just bought an original MBE for £140. And I've got to say, I'm just very proud to actually have such a thing, and I will wear it on special occasions and with great pride and great honour until I sell it.
Arise, Sir David, decorated at last. Now, he might well be resting on his right honourable laurels, but young pretender Paul is bidding for the set of pianola rolls, estimated at £50 to £60.
Any advance on 22, 25, 28, 30, 5.
But
40,
Paul's got competition.
50,
A rival bidder
5,
is also after the rolls.
75, 85, at 85 at the back. Any advance on £85, 1376.
But all that music, you have generations of music there, ready to be played on the very, very first CD player. I think it's fantastic.
It's music to Paul's ears when he gets the pianola rolls for £102, including costs. Paul is on a roll and also snaps up the pair of 1970s pictures he spotted earlier, setting him back £72.
But I'll put my toe in the water.
Good to see that you're recycling the jokes, Paul. And as the sun starts to slowly sink in the sky, David sets his sights on a pair of early 19th century silhouettes, estimated at £100 to £120.
Take a chance, somebody at 50, you only bid 5, 60, 5, 70, 5, 80 the pair on bid, at 80 pair on bid, at £80, you finish with them all at £80 then.
I like them, they're cheap.
The silhouette miniatures cost £96 after fees, but on closer inspection, will they raise David's profile?
You know, they always say it's best to have a good pair, and here is a great example of a super pair of early 19th century silhouettes in their original frame with the oak leaf brass ormolu hanging mounts, again all intact, and remaining together is absolutely fantastic. There has to be a profit, probably a 50% profit, because there are always people looking for silhouettes, and especially a pair.
With time running out before the final hammer falls, Paul decides to make a play for the commemorative Queen Victoria Diamond Jubilee book that's estimated at £15 to £20.
This next lot's the London Illustrated News, the commemorative for Queen Victoria 1897, her Diamond Jubilee. Okay, so I think I'll have a go at this in at £15 to £20, which sounds a bargain, really.
20 the lot, 22, 5, 8, 32, 5. £35 this time then.
So I bought that, so that's a real piece of history, 1897. Sounds a good lot, that.
The book costs Paul a princely sum of £40.83, including fees. Both our boys have fought hard at today's auction, but it's Paul who makes the final purchase to bring this whirlwind of bidding to a close. Our two